7 years, that's how long it had been since I last saw her. 7 years since I made the biggest mistake of my life, trading love for ambition and telling myself it was the only way to succeed. My name is Oliver Harrington, and I was once on top of the world. My tech empire in Silicon Valley grew faster than anyone imagined, and I thought I was untouchable. I believed that success would fill any void, so I walked away from the one person who truly loved me, Emily Carter. Right when she told me she was pregnant, I told myself I wasn't ready. I told myself it was for the best. I lied. The emptiness never went away. Fast forward to today, sitting in my sterile Manhattan office, the numbers on my financial reports were a death sentence. My company, my empire, was crumbling. The losses were impossible, catastrophic, and then, the horrifying truth hit me. I had been betrayed. Patrick Doyle, my business partner, the man I trusted like a brother, had been siphoning funds for months. When I confronted him, he didn't even bother to deny it. He just smirked and said, "Business isn't for men with a conscience." Oliver, in that moment, the world I had built with my bare hands shattered around me. For the first time in years, I felt a crushing sense of despair, and a small, nagging voice whispered that maybe, just maybe, I deserved this. A few days later, a thick, embossed invitation arrived. A high-profile charity gala in Midtown. It was a room full of the city's most powerful people, investors, philanthropists, the very individuals who could either throw me a lifeline or watch me sink without a trace. With nothing left to lose, I decided to go. I had to try. The ballroom was a sea of glittering gold chandeliers, polished marble floors, and the low hum of champagne-fueled conversations. I put on my best practiced smile, scanning the crowd for a friendly face, a potential investor, anyone who could help. And then, my world stopped. She was there, Emily. She stood across the room, and my breath caught in my throat. She looked different, stronger, more confident. Her hair fell in soft curls around her shoulders, and her navy blue dress seemed to shimmer under the golden lights. This wasn't the heartbroken girl I'd left behind. This was a woman who had not only survived without me but had thrived. My heart hammered against my ribs as I took a tentative step toward her. Memories I had worked so hard to bury clawed their way to the surface, but I froze. A man approached her, tall, handsome, exuding an effortless confidence. I recognized him immediately. James Whitford, one of New York's most respected entrepreneurs. He placed a hand on the small of her back, and she smiled up at him. It was a warm, genuine smile, the kind of smile I once foolishly believed was reserved only for me. A wave of jealousy, sharp and unexpected, hit me, but the real shock was yet to come. A small boy, no older than 6 or 7, ran up to Emily, tugging on her dress. "Mom," he called out, his voice bright and clear. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. He had dark, messy hair and startlingly bright blue eyes. My eyes. The world went silent. All the noise, the music, the laughter, it all faded into a dull roar. I was staring at my own features reflected in the face of a child. The child Emily had raised on her own. The child I had abandoned before he was even born. 7 years of denial, of willful ignorance, collapsed into a single, devastating moment of clarity. I hadn't just abandoned a woman I loved. I had abandoned my son. That's when she saw me. Emily's eyes widened in shock, a flicker of old pain crossing her face before it was replaced by a guarded, steely resolve. She excused herself from James, her composure unwavering, and walked toward me with slow, deliberate steps. Each footfall echoed the pounding in my chest. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was low and steady, but I could hear the tremor beneath the surface. "Oliver," she said, her tone devoid of warmth, "this is not the time, and it's certainly not the place." She told me the boy's name was Leo, that he didn't know who I was, that she had built a life for them, a stable, happy life, because she had no other choice. I tried to speak, to apologize, to explain, but the words wouldn't come. She held up a hand to stop me. "You made your choice that day," she said, her voice cutting through my pathetic attempt at an excuse. "You chose your ambition. You chose your company. You made it very clear that we were not a part of that future." She turned and walked away, leaving me standing there, a ghost at a party celebrating a life I had no part in. Later that evening, I found myself on a deserted balcony, the cool night air doing nothing to quell the fire of guilt in my chest. The city lights of Manhattan stretched out before me, a glittering testament to the kind of success I had once craved above all else. It all felt so hollow now. I heard a soft footstep behind me and turned to see Emily. There were no tears, no shouting. Her expression was just tired. She told me about the last 7 years, the 2 jobs she worked to make ends meet, the sleepless nights spent worrying, the constant fear of failing as a single mother. She told me about raising a curious little boy who kept asking questions about his father, questions she never knew how to answer. Each word was a knife, twisting deeper into the wound of my own making. I finally found my voice and confessed everything: the fear, the immaturity, the suffocating regret that had been my constant companion every single day since I left. I told her I was sorry, but she just shook her head, a sad, weary smile on her face. "Regret doesn't change the past, Oliver," she said quietly. "Regret didn't pay the rent. Regret didn't hold Leo when he was sick. It didn't make up for the years you were gone." Desperate, I asked if there was any chance at all, that I could be a part of Leo's life, that I could try to be a father to him. She looked at me for a long time, and the expression in her eyes wasn't anger or hatred. It was pure exhaustion. "Leo doesn't need a millionaire, Oliver," she said. "He needs a dad. He needs consistency. He needs someone who shows up day after day. He needs love. And I'm not sure you know how to give that. I'm not sure you ever did." She didn't wait for my response. She simply turned and went back inside, leaving me alone on the balcony with the flickering city lights that now looked like a constellation of broken promises. I didn't defend myself. For the first time, I knew she was right. When the gala ended, I watched from a distance as Emily walked out, holding her son's small hand in hers. He was laughing at something she said, his face lit up with pure joy. And in that moment I understood. Rebuilding my company, clawing back my fortune, it all meant nothing. The real work was rebuilding myself. I had to prove, through actions and not just empty words, that I was capable of being the man my son deserved. That night didn't offer me redemption. It gave me something much heavier, much more real. The undeniable truth I had spent 7 years running from. I wasn't just grieving a lost company. I was grieving the family I threw away. And as I watched them disappear into a taxi, I knew, with a certainty that settled deep in my bones, that I was finally ready to fight for something that truly mattered. The road ahead would be long, and I knew I might fail. But for the first time, I was ready to try. Thanks for watching.